hour of my day is just mentally preparing myself. So I usually do 10 minutes of reading, 10 minutes of meditation. I might even do a little bit of exercise, just a few push-ups or whatever to get the blood going. And then my first working session is 6 till 7:30. So by the time I get to 7:30, I've already done 90 minutes of work, right? And then I can take a break and decide whether I'm going to then do another 90 minutes, which will take me up to 9 or so, or whether I want to check my email at that point. But the important thing from my side is to get something important, get one of your most important tasks done before you do anything else, apart from your kind of wake up routine that I just mentioned.
Right. So this is kind of, it's like the eat the frog thing, you know, kind of tackle the biggest thing first in the day. Is that the kind of approach you take too?
Yeah, I mean, I think the other thing I would say about all of this stuff is you have to find what works for you. You will, and the thing I've learned over the years about any topic is that for every piece of great sounding advice you'll hear another piece of great sounding advice, which is the 180-degree opposite of the other piece of advice, right? So the important thing is to find out what works for you and take everybody's advice with a pinch of salt, because for me, it works waking up early. For other people, they can work at 10 o'clock at night into the early hours, no problem. I can't do that. So yeah, but definitely what does work is chunking your time, like I mentioned, and it's proven. Various studies have proven that doing the most important thing first is psychologically also just to get you started.
Can I just lost the connection there for a moment, mate. Can we just take a pause and wait for it to catch up a moment? What I'm going to do is I'll drop my video and we'll see if it comes back. Okay, so there we go. That looks like it's settling down. Yeah. So what you were saying was about chunking time and organizing a day, etc. So maybe you could just say that piece again.
Yeah. So as I said, from a productivity standpoint, then chunking time definitely works, and we'll tell you that you just if you have trouble getting started, then do a few little things first, so you can tick a few things off your list. But I found, and a lot of studies back that up, to get one of your most important tasks done first is takes a weight off your mind, almost literally, to get one of them out of the way early. And if you manage to do that before 9 o'clock, like I was talking about before, you've already achieved more than most people will achieve in the entire day.
Right, magic. So what you've shared is this idea of setting up your home space, avoiding distractions, and chunking time and getting things off to a good start in the day. Maybe we could just have a look at teams. Do you kind of sometimes connect with people, work in a team environment, working online, that kind of thing?
Yeah, of course. So I mean, most of my customer projects involve working with a team of people, and then on the other side, I work with a team of people too. Although I don't employ them, I work with a team of other vendors and various suppliers, experts in their potential areas where we collaborate on things. So yeah, I mean, that's part of the job.
Right. Okay. So so you're not in the office. You've got to work with people remotely. Maybe you could just share with people one thing that might be a little bit different than being in a normal, office environment together.
I think the most important thing for me anyway is to keep the meetings that you have, the calls that you have, short and regular. So rather than try and have the same 2-hour meeting that you would have if you were in the office, rather try and compress things and get straight to the point. much faster than you would if you know, because if you're in the office, then you're more likely to have a bit of a chat and blah blah blah. If you do that when everybody's in a different place, then time gets away from you much more quickly. I find anyway. So I find it's better. And this is what I advise my clients, for example, if they're the leader of a team, that they have a 30-minute come together on a Monday with all their various direct reports, and then another one on a Friday. So the Monday one is to set the goals for the week, and the Friday one is to review, you know, what went well, what went badly, what do we need to adjust. And obviously you will, within regular check-ins throughout the week. But if you're the manager, then that should be enough. And obviously you have to be available for people to you know, to come back to you and ask questions and whatever. But again, yeah, compact but relatively frequent is good, and at set times, so not spontaneous meetings, because that also then just ends up being much more inefficient.
Rightio. Okay, that's they're a bunch of awesome things to introduce people into this topic. Before we go, I think it's useful for people to actually, I should have asked this in the first place, is maybe you can just share what you do, like the kind of role that you have and how you kind of ended up in this remote working environment. Just quickly for the community.
Yeah, well, this is a strange question, because as a result of what we've all been doing for the last few weeks, it's actually changing quite rapidly. But up until now, I've been mainly a marketing and positioning consultant for technology companies. So you know, they might have a new software product to launch, and I will help them position that properly in the market so that it will, you know, be successful. So that's what I've been doing up until now. Right now, I'm transitioning much more towards helping people work virtually and productivity. And I think because I think the virtual, you know, the virtual business model where lots more people work at home and remotely is going to become a lot more common in the future. It was happening anyway, but I think this whole COVID outbreak is going to make it, it's going to accelerate that trend. I think, you know, most people will still go back to the office when this is all over, but home working will become a lot more accepted and a lot more common.
So you think that it'll move towards even like a blended kind of experience? Maybe people are 2 or 3 days in the office and the rest of the time at home, or that kind of thing.
I think so, because the other thing about this is that now we're all spending more time at home. We actually have the chance to restructure our lives a bit, and maybe we realize what we were missing before, in terms of not spending enough time on our own families, not spending enough time on our own hobbies. And I think a lot of people, if they take a positive attitude to this, it will be a bit of an awakening, really, to the possibility of having that kind of blended lifestyle. And then on top of that, you've got the companies who more and more companies will just be totally virtual. So they will rarely, if ever, meet. They will, but you know, a guy will come up with an idea, employ 100 people, but they won't have a central office. And that exists already, of course, but I think it's going to get a lot more common.
Right, amazing. Thanks for what you've shared. I'll
You're very welcome.
obviously post this up for the community to learn a little bit about you and your experience. If there's a way people could get in touch with you, what would you recommend? Just through the group, or?
So yeah, the first instance, then through the group. What I'll do is, actually, I just recently published, as you already know, I recently published an ebook on this topic, aimed towards chief executives, but it's, you know, there's stuff in there which is relevant for everybody. So I'll post that on the Facebook group anyway. So yeah, and you can contact me via that, and otherwise just look for me on LinkedIn, or go to my website, which is hamishmackenzie.com.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Thanks a lot, Hamish.
You're very welcome.